Thousands of plane enthusiasts looked on today as a World War II Mosquito fighter bomber took to the air. The first time a Mosquito's flown in 16 years. The plane was flown by many Kiwi pilots and some of them came to see today's flight. David Farrier was there.
With so many planes on show, there was one true star. The Mosquito was one of the fastest aircraft during World War II. Its frame made almost entirely from wood, leading to its nickname, the Wooden Wonder. And peering inside a familiar cockpit, Gordon Hargrove's face said it all. He last flew one of these in 1945.
Very moving, very emotional.
Yeah. A lot of room in there. It looks pretty roomy, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, that's where I sat.
Over the last 7 years, this model's been rebuilt from the ground up, the first of its kind to be restored for flight.
It stands the hairs up on the back of your neck, sounds so beautiful and looks so, quite, and having not seen one before, you kind of always, every picture I've seen is in black and white, so it's the first time I've seen a Mosquito in colour.
John Beeching flew the planes during 1944 and 1945. It's been a while since he sat here.
It seems to be much higher than it used to be 70 years ago.
It's his 89th birthday next month, but this was an early present.
I flew 56 different Mosquitoes in the last war, night fighters and bombers, so I can say I'm fairly well experienced with them. And I never bent any or scratched them even, so is this a record? It must be getting close to it.
He even had the papers to prove it. So, as other planes flew over Ardmore, this one continued to be the focus, on the ground and in the air. David Farrier, 3 News.
A long-awaited flight's been creating quite a buzz at Ardmore Airport, south of Auckland. The plane's known as a Mosquito, and until today, the World War II bomber hadn't taken off since the 1940s. Sharon Ferguson joined thousands watching the historic moment.
It's a sound that used to strike terror into those on the ground. Today, it's made grown men cry.
I've cried for the first time in 60 years. The tears just came out of my eyes when I saw that, heard that familiar sound.
There were around 8,000 Mosquito bombers built during World War II. This one was constructed in 1945, so it just missed the war. It's now the only one in the world capable of flight.
Very, very exciting to see it fly. And we looked up and I was kind of looking, excuse me. When I get back, everybody wants to see photos, of course.
Jerry Yagan is the American-based owner. He spent millions on the restoration.
The craftsmanship that you have in your country is unbelievable. It's something like, it's a lost art that we don't have in the United States anymore.
This has to be the best restoration I've ever seen. It really is. It's magnificent. And to come out of the hangar, having had none built since World War II, and fly perfectly straight up, it's just amazing.
Thousands witnessed the flight at Ardmore Airport. They were entertained by a spectacular air display, but the show's star was obvious.
When it flew past before, there was barely a dry eye. All these guys that have been involved in the aeroplane, during World War II and shortly after, it's just so good to be able to honour what they did.
The Mosquito was nicknamed the Wooden Wonder because it's mostly made from plywood and balsa wood and glued on fabric. Now that the moulds for this one have been made, future restorations will be easier. And there's already another Mosquito taking shape using those moulds, while this one's headed to America to join a large collection of warplanes. Sharon Ferguson, 1 News.